Hi, this is Tracy Yemma, and welcome to Nutri Facts. I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm here today with Meghan Robohm, who is a nutritionist, and we are here today to talk about dining out and strategies for not blowing your healthy eating plan when you're eating on the run or traveling. Meghan is currently conducting a 6-week program for some of our members, and she has been working with them and is finding that there are various trends that people are struggling with in terms of overcoming challenging food situations. What would you say is probably the most challenging situation for people?
Well, for each client, it's different. Like, you know that. It's different per person. But I think the biggest challenge would be the amount of options that they're given. Mm-hmm. When they look at the menu, they're overwhelmed, and they think with their eyes and not their brain. And that's usually what happens. Their diet goes out the window because they're like, oh, this is a special occasion, I can eat out, I don't do this very often, when in reality, it is the norm now, so people are eating out more than they have in the past, and that's sabotaging their diets. Mm-hmm. And I think that's their biggest problem.
Now,
definitely.
In your experience, how often is the average person eating out?
I would say with the fast-paced lifestyles, close to 3 or 4 times a week.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't have to be meals always. It can be snacks too. Stopping, going to the gas station, rather than grabbing a healthier choice like a veggie or a fruit, they're grabbing a candy bar because it's grab and go. It's cheaper in the long run.
Mm-hmm. And I think I would probably also include maybe takeout meals. People sometimes say,
Absolutely.
"Oh, I'm exhausted. I don't feel like cooking," and then they get takeout. They get pizza, or they get Chinese, or they even go to the supermarket where there's some prepared meals there,
Right.
and they think it's healthy.
I think the problem with that is, once again, somebody else is preparing your food for you. You don't know what's in it, how they're preparing it, whether it's fried, grilled, broiled. You really don't know. It's the same as eating out. Mm-hmm. And with fast food, I mean, a lot of times people are going through these drive-thrus and they're getting meals that are, it's their total calories for their day in one meal. Mm-hmm. Why would you put all your marbles in one jar when you can spread it out throughout the day by going to a grocery store? You know what I mean? And getting meals.
What do you think are some of the common myths with eating out in terms of, like, one of the myths I hear all the time as a registered dietitian as well is, well, I had a Caesar salad.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's the salads. People are like, well, I'm on a diet, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to get a salad. When in reality, what they are doing is most of the salads at restaurants are higher in calorie than a burger. It's all the additives that they put on it. I think the number one thing that people need to do is always, always, always ask for the dressing on the side. Mm-hmm. And I think what increases the calories on these salads, like I said, additives, nuts, the dressings, just higher additives on these salads.
Cheese.
Oh yeah, cheese.
Yeah, I
absolutely.
think cheese is a big one.
People don't really
Feta
realize
cheese on the Greek salad.
What a serving of cheese is, and there's
right.
roughly
I know.
3 on the salad when they order it.
Absolutely,
you know,
I think some of the salads have 3 to 4 ounces on them.
Yep.
Which is probably 300 or 400 calories of just cheese.
Especially with the creamy dressings, too. People don't realize. I mean, yeah, there's fat-free versions, and you should always get the fat-free version of a dressing, but you still don't know. That's why you always should get it on the side.
And what's another strategy they could use in terms of getting on the side? Because I've actually seen people get it on the side and then pour it over the salad.
Right. Well, what I do personally is I dip my fork in it and then pick up the lettuce.
Okay.
Or pick up the lettuce and dunk it in.
Yeah.
I mean, you still are tasting the dressing. It's just not swimming in it.
So by dipping the fork in the dressing and then spearing the salad, you're getting a little taste of dressing with each bite. You'll probably use a quarter of the amount that you would have used.
And when you're done and you look at the salad, you'll realize, okay, I have half of my dressing left, and it was a good salad. I'm full. You know what I mean? Rather than pouring the whole thing on it. You don't need it.
Right. Now, really what are some healthier options for salads when people are looking at a menu?
For salads, I would say, like you said, maybe getting it without cheese. Obviously, the dressing on the side. Maybe without nuts, a leaner meat, rather than, because I see steak salads when, in reality, you could get salmon on your salad, chicken on their salad, but make sure you ask how it's prepared, whether it's cooked on the grill or fried. A lot of the times, you'll get chicken on your salad, and it's fried chicken. So just ask for it grilled, I think. What do you think for?
I agree,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And I know myself, I like to go sometimes if I'm on the run and I'm driving from one place to the other and there may be a supermarket or a Whole Foods market on my way, I'll go to the salad bar there and I'll load up on the veggies or the beans
Yes, exactly.
that are there, and I'll minimize the
protein,
added
low
the
fat.
added toppings that are cheesy or fried or mayonnaise-y. I'll limit or avoid those completely.
Exactly, like the potato salads and the apple salad. I know there's a restaurant that does an apple salad with cranberries, and you think, oh, it's healthy because it's an apple, but in reality, there's yogurt on it, all these other additives. So I think you should definitely fill up on the veggies.
Well, I think the
when
other
having
thing
a
that's
salad.
challenging about eating out is not just the fat content, because oftentimes we can see fat. If it comes out drowning in butter, we know it's going to be high in fat. I think the thing that's difficult when eating out is we can't see salt or sodium.
Exactly.
Can't see it, so it's deceiving.
That's just like I was saying, going to fast food places. They're all high in sodium and fat, and sodium leaves you bloated the next day. You don't feel good after eating that.
Right,
I know
right,
I don't. I'm
right.
not sure what other people feel.
Now, what about some other strategies for eating out?
Well, I like to say when you're looking at the menu, nowadays, a lot of restaurants, you can go online beforehand and check out their calories for their meals. And I would also, a big thing, my biggest concern is the portions that we have these days. Now, if you look at our serving plates, they're huge compared to maybe your grandparents 20 years ago. They're probably half the size. I think the way you can avoid having bigger portions is maybe order an appetizer as a meal, or have half your meal, half your main course, half of it, and then bring the rest home and have it the next day.
Or split it?
Yeah, or split it with a friend.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, are
Definitely.
you suggesting that even the plates have gotten bigger in the restaurants?
Absolutely. It's funny, the other day I was at my house and I realized that these plates are huge. The bowls, they're huge. And we found older plates from my grandmother a while ago, and our plates were twice the size. And people are thinking, oh, I'm only having one serving. I'm doing great. My diet's great today. When in reality, they're probably having 3 or 4 servings of that pasta or the rice.
So I'm almost thinking, you could translate that to traveling, when people are traveling and going to a buffet or a place where there are several options for plates. I could see how if they got half a cup of cooked pasta on a giant plate, it would look like it would
There's
be
12
deceiving.
noodles.
It would
Right.
look like no food.
I'm not eating anything.
If they got the smaller plate or maybe a bowl, it wouldn't be as deceiving.
Exactly. Maybe I would try to use maybe the appetizer plate as your meal plate. Take half of it on there so you know that you're having, this is my meal and I'm going to be satisfied at the end of it.
That sounds like a good strategy.
Definitely.
What do you think is another thing people can do? It sounds like what you're saying when you were saying look at the menu in advance online, maybe look up the calorie content if it's available. Why is that so important?
Because this is so important because you're not cooking your meal. Other people are cooking your meal. You don't know, like I said before, what it's cooked in, how it's prepared. So I think looking at it ahead of time tells you, okay, this is my calories. I know that, okay, if this meal is fairly large in calories, I'm going to split it in half. And I know that this is what I'm eating.
Now, what if the calorie content is not available, but the menu options are available? They can decide in advance if they want chicken or if they want fish or if they want beef. They're going to get a salad, they're going to get an appetizer, they're going to get an entree. What should they be looking for on the menu to signal healthier option?
No red meat. Stick to chicken, fish, turkey even. A whiter meat is better. And definitely stick to the vegetables. Fill up on the vegetables. As soon as you come to a restaurant these days, they put a basket of bread right on your table. And to me, that's my favorite part. I love bread. But there are other options, and 9 times out of 10, because of the nutrition that everybody's concerned about these days, there's healthy options. So maybe look for the vegetable with the hummus, or a fish dish. Mussels is a good appetizer. Something that's not drenched in butter, that's preferably cooked in oil rather than butter. And the dressings and the creaminess of stuff. It shouldn't be creamy. Creamy has extra calories.
Some of the things I've tried in restaurants, I definitely do the appetizer instead of the meal because I find it's plenty of food.
Exactly.
And it doesn't break the budget. Or maybe I've ordered shrimp cocktail, or I've ordered steamed steamers, or mussels, or some kind of vegetarian option.
Yes.
Definitely a good choice.
The way to go.
Now, what's another strategy people can use when they get to the restaurant? That bread is so enticing. What's a good strategy for them to have one slice of bread and not 3?
Well, prior to your meal, if you know you're going out, never ever skip your meals throughout the day. Don't skip breakfast, don't skip lunch. It's going to ruin your diet plan. You think, oh, I'm going out to eat tonight, I'm not going to eat, I'm going to go crazy when I get there. When in reality, your metabolism has slowed down throughout the day because it's starving and it wants to keep everything in. Yeah. You're going to overeat, and it's going to have the opposite effect that you want it to. So I recommend having maybe a 100 to 200 calorie snack beforehand, maybe a yogurt, a nutrition bar, something like that, nuts. It's a great, you never ever go to a restaurant hungry because you're going to eat that bread and the whole basket of it.
Which really almost sounds counterintuitive because you're thinking, why would I eat right before I'm going out to eat?
Right, that's what a lot of people, I even feel that way too. I'm like, well, I know I'm going to have that bread. I'm not going to have this snack beforehand. When in reality, you're not going to want that bread because you're not hungry. Right. You have to learn to sense your natural hunger.
So you're saying it allows the person to feel more in control. They may decide to enjoy a small piece of bread and really enjoy it rather than feel like they're so hungry that they can't get enough and they're almost full before their meal comes because they downed the bread.
Exactly. And a lot of people do this at home too. They eat their lunch and they're like, oh, I'm not going to have anything. I'm going to be good all day until dinner. And then at dinner, they overeat. That's what a lot of people do. And that's another sabotage for your diet.
Right.
So I think this just goes in your everyday life, whether you're eating out or if you're at home. Definitely have a snack every 2 to 3 hours between your meals.
Now, what about alcohol?
Alcohol. There are only 3 things in our program that we tell people not to do. We say limit eating out once a week, no alcohol, and no caloric beverages. And alcohol, aside from the eating out, because everybody loves that, they freak out when I tell them they can't have alcohol. And the reason I tell them is because drinking alcohol, it lowers your inhibition. You have a glass of wine or 2 and you're like, oh, well, I can have this piece of bread, I can have these chips, I'll just pick my diet up tomorrow. It's a diet sabotage. It really is. It lowers your inhibitions. And not to mention the extra calories that it has in it.
Right. And I've also heard that it can lower blood sugar slightly too.
Exactly.
Which makes people feel hungrier.
Exactly.
And they tend to eat.
Overeat. Grab that extra
fat
handful.
And salt. I always joke nobody eats broccoli and apples when they drink alcohol.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I think a lot of people in the beginning of the program are like, oh, I can never do this. But then throughout, they're like, I could do this.
Right.
It's just because they're so used to it. It's their norm. They have that glass of wine to relax at night.
So
that beer, at dinner by their hand. You know, I think once you wean it out of your normal habits, you're like, okay, I can have this glass of wine and I'm not going to have 6 glasses of wine and eat that extra bag of chips.
Right.
I definitely think that they should, when you're eating out, lean towards water, seltzer water, something with no calories. Maybe add some lemon or lime to it if you don't like that taste, because I know some people don't like seltzer water. Add the lemon or lime and it makes it a completely different drink. Definitely.
And I think sometimes people don't realize that if they're drinking alcohol, maybe they're having just 1 glass every night. They don't realize that it's adding about 1,000 calories onto their week.
Which in turn is an extra pound or close.
Right.
You know?
And do the people who are able to limit or avoid alcohol completely get better results?
Oh, yes, definitely. I had one client last time who, it was over Easter weekend. She said, okay, I have no choice but to drink. And I said, well, you do have a choice, but she chose to drink anyways. And she realized that week, okay, I know I can't drink because I gained a pound. She realized herself, and then from then on, hasn't drank, and she had great results. She did.
Great.
She had great results.
Excellent. And one of the other things that people can do, what do you find is the other challenge that people have when they're in a restaurant setting. I mean, I know myself when I go out to eat, if I haven't premeditated what I'm going to have by going online and checking out the menu in advance, I get there and they deliver the menu. And what inevitably happens, you're looking at the menu.
See the pictures.
Well, you're seeing the pictures, and then you're talking and talking and talking and talking. And before you know it, the waitress comes over and says, "What would you like to order?" And you've already pushed her away one time, and now she's back for the second time. You think, "Oh my God, I have to order right now, and I have no idea what I want." What happens then?
Well, personally, this is the hardest part, especially when there's pictures on the menu because you're saying, "Oh, well, that looks great. I want that." I think that you just need to take your time, relax, read the whole menu, see if they have healthier options because a lot of menus now have under 500 calories, anything like that. Read every single ingredient that's in it. Like I said, ask questions. That's your biggest thing. Always ask questions because they'll tell you exactly what's in it. And you can make those modifications. Every restaurant now caters to those types of people who want to eat healthy or who have allergies. So treat it as an allergy. Say, okay, I don't want this butter, can you cook it this way? If they say no, then you pick something else.
Now, what advice do you give to people who maybe feel a little bit inhibited to make that request? Maybe they feel anxious or nervous, or they're just not feeling secure with that.
I just would want to remind them that everybody is able to ask these questions. They're not going to say, "Oh, no, we don't do that." It's the norm these days. It really is.
Yeah.
I think that people just need to put their foot down and go ahead and ask because they will make that modification and you'll feel better at the end of it.
Right. I think the thing that people, when they're getting anxious about doing that, I think they don't realize that many people
Everyone does it.
ask for modifications
Exactly.
when you go to a restaurant, and it is the norm, like
You're
you
paying
said.
for it, so you should be able to get what you want,
Exactly.
just like you're at home.
I think the other thing that people need to pay attention to is the mindset, you know, in terms of, while I'm eating out, it's a special occasion.
Exactly.
And I think if somebody were eating out maybe once a month, it probably would be a special
Right,
occasion.
exactly.
Maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal. But I think where many of the clients I see are eating out sometimes 5-6 times a week.
Right.
I mean, that's almost their norm. My advice to them is, well, if you would eat chicken and brown rice and broccoli at home, but when you're going out, you're eating fried clams and onion rings.
Exactly.
You have to kind of mimic what you would do at home.
It's almost like the people that eat great Monday through Friday, and then the weekend comes and they say, "Oh, I had a great week. Now I'm going to completely ruin it on the weekend," or make
so
these
they
decisions that I'm
reward
not.
themselves with food.
Exactly.
Right.
It's
Instead
a reward
of maybe
status.
finding a non-food reward.
Right. Read a book, go for a walk, take your dog for a walk, shopping, do something that interests you other than eating. I think that's a big thing, just taking food out of the equation. And there's so many other things that you could do. Have your meals, be cautious of your meals, don't skip meals, but think of other things to do in between so that's not always on your mind. Because I know that's a hard thing when you're on a diet. You think about food 24/7 because you're technically not having the amount of food that you would. You know what I mean? You're limiting yourself. So I think if you find other things, it will make it a lot easier.
So the planning and the preparation is really essential then.
Planning it's definitely. If you know you're leaving the house for 3 or 4 hours and it's 10 o'clock and you know you have lunch around noon or 1, bring a snack with you to hold you over if you're not going to be back in time. Or make sure you know where there's a healthy option where you're going.
What types of snacks would you recommend?
Almonds, 100-calorie packs are great. Fruit, just throw a yogurt in your bag, a bar, a nut bar, a granola bar, something along that line, something between 100 to 200 calories, as I said.
I think it's also important too, which a lot of people don't remember to do, is to get the water.
Yes.
Either bring a bottled water or fill up a reusable container so that you don't have to stop at the convenience store to
where there's
get
other
water,
options
where you
that
have
are
all
tempting.
the other temptations.
Yes.
Right. You're thinking, oh, well, I'm going to run in and get
I'm here
water.
for water, but I'm going to get a Gatorade.
Right. Naturally, you're going to take a snack with you when you leave because you're going in there and you're just bombarded with, like you said, the candy bar, or some people like the beef jerky or whatever.
Tastiest option.
Right, definitely. Because I find, and thirst can sometimes be confused with hunger.
Exactly. Like I tell a lot of the 6 week program clients that if you're hungry and you had lunch or breakfast or dinner about 2 hours ago, you're not really hungry, you're just bored. So grab a glass of water, throw some lemon in it. It will fill you up. Just try it, and I promise you it will fill you up to hold you over to your next meal or snack.
So let's say your client is planning on going out to eat that night, and they're eating out at 7, and they wake up at 6 a.m.
Yep.
How should their day be spaced out with regards to their food?
Well, I think that they should be eating breakfast within a half hour to 90 minutes of waking up, regardless of them working out or not. So I would say if they wake up at 6, probably eat around between 7 and 8. Then have a snack in between breakfast and lunch, because 8 till noon or 1, whenever you're eating, is a long time. So have that snack in between, like I said, a yogurt, a fruit, something of that substance. And then, so you have your lunch, probably around noon to 1.
Yeah.
Maybe around 3. I know this is what the slump happens for me. I get into a slump and I'm like, okay, I know that I'm hungry. I'm going to have a snack, and I'm going to choose the right snack, anywhere between 100 to 200 calories, as I said. And then I would say they have dinner, what'd you say, around 7? And definitely maybe another snack before then, because like we said, we want to eat, if they're going out.
Like the 100-calorie almond pack or something around 5:30.
Exactly, because they're going out at 7.
Yeah.
And they'll be starving. 3:30 to 7 is a long time.
Yeah,
It really is. So definitely maybe have those 2 snacks in between lunch and dinner, because that's usually a bigger time between lunch.
Which seems like a lot of food, because I can imagine some of our clients are going to think, oh my God, I'm going to eat all that food, and then I'm going to go out and have a 1,000-calorie meal.
Right.
How is that going to work?
Well, this is actually funny, because one of the clients was saying, well, I don't know why I need to do this program. I never eat, and I'm overweight. I don't know why. I think it was because she was spacing out her meals. You can have, roughly you're supposed to have about 6 small meals a day. That's 3 meals with 2 snacks in between, or 3 snacks in between. And they don't have to be huge meals each time.
Right.
You're making the right choices.
Right.
You're supposed to be making those right choices in between. So yeah, it sounds like a lot of food. You're eating a lot, but you're really not. You're fueling your body. It's what your body needs.
Right.
Rather than starving yourself, eating only 3 meals, it doesn't, I think it works better to space it out. I know it does for me. I don't know how
I
you
actually
feel.
just read an article about it, I think it was yesterday morning, about the benefit of having smaller but more frequent meals. I think sometimes people think they just take their 3 big meals and multiply it times 6.
Yeah.
They need to shrink the meals and have
Smaller.
smaller snacks in between.
Exactly.
Now, with your clients, what is the average number of calories that you're finding is appropriate for weight loss for your clients?
I know that this week, when starting the program this week, everyone was between 12 to 1,400 calories. I mean, it does vary per person, you know, their height, their weight, their age.
Exercise level.
Right, exactly. But everyone was either between 12 to 1,400. And exercise level is a big factor. So if they were exercising more, it would probably be a little bit higher. But the important thing is to remind people that just because you're exercising and you burn those 300 calories doesn't mean you can go have a bowl of ice cream that's 300 calories. That's counterproductive.
Totally counterproductive.
You know?
I think so many times people tend to underestimate how many calories they burn. And a lot of the machines and a lot of the online calculators also tend to, I'm sorry, I meant to say overestimate.
Right, your
They tend to
underestimate what they're eating.
how many calories they burn.
Exactly.
And a lot of the online tools that are out there, and even the machines when you plug in your numbers, tend to overestimate how many calories people are burning.
Right.
And then, because it's so difficult to estimate the calorie content of foods eaten out, I find they tend to underestimate how many calories are in restaurant meals. I mean, having looked up many, many restaurant meals over the years, even I'm surprised sometimes, and I'm off when I try to figure out the calorie content of foods eaten out. I won't say the name of the restaurant, but one of my clients was eating tuna tartare, and I'm thinking tuna, it's seared,
healthy.
it seems healthy. I estimated it was around 500 calories, 400 calories. I looked it up online because this particular restaurant did have the nutrition information online. What I didn't know was that this choice he was making came smothered in some kind of
creamy
fried
sauce.
cream sauce. And when I looked it up, it was 1,700 calories for the option.
Which is
and
your
I
meal,
said,
your
that
calories
explains
for
why
the
you
day.
haven't lost any weight this week.
Yeah.
Because you had that twice.
Which it kind of stinks for them to go out to dinner and thinking they're making the correct choice and being proud of themselves, and they're putting their best foot forward and they're trying. But you never know. Like I said, you don't know when you're not making your meals, how they're prepared.
Right.
And that's the biggest downfall with eating out.
That's the downfall. Although I think the good news is that there have been very few items that I can't find online.
Right.
If you do a Google search, you'll find the option online.
Exactly.
If you can premeditate as much as you can. I mean, obviously there's times when you can't. Maybe you're on vacation and you're with your family and you're just kind of deciding as you go, and let's go whatever looks good. Maybe you're in Italy and you can't look it up online.
Right.
You know, but I think in this country, if you're here and you know you're going out to eat that night, the majority of the restaurants not only have their menus online, but many of them do have the nutrition information online.
Right. And a lot of restaurants or fast food places, easy places to go into, have them right up on the overhead menu.
Right.
It's the new thing, yeah.
Right.
So you know, okay, if I get this is how many calories I'm having.
Right.
If I get half of it, okay, that's half of it. I can choose another option as well.
Do you think those are accurate?
I would think so. I really do. I think they wouldn't have them up there if they weren't. I mean, it's just like anything. You can go to a restaurant and you can ask them, well, say you have a lactose intolerant or you're gluten-free. They wouldn't just give you a menu that is full of cream and breads and all that if they know that you will be sick from it. So I definitely feel that those are accurate.
Right.
I mean, if you look at it, you can justify yourself, I think, if they are.
You're saying if it says it's 300 calories and it comes out and it's 15
Huge.
cups of food.
You know that it's
not.
right. I think it does vary, definitely.
Okay. So what, in summary, what would you say for your clients when choosing to eat out? What's the best strategy or defense?
Well, I know that it's overwhelming. There's so many choices. Always, always ask.
Yep.
Always know what you're putting into your mouth.
Yep.
And try to make the right choices.
Yep.
I mean, don't be overwhelmed at all.
Yep.
Everyone's asking the questions.
Yep.
Everyone is trying to eat healthier. Just always ask, definitely when you're going out.
Okay.
What would you say to your clients?
I think also to never go starving.
Never.
That's key. Having something small to eat before you go really takes the edge off emotionally and physically because you're not starving when you get there, so you stay in control and you're not able to justify, well, I didn't eat all day, so it's okay for me to order fried whatever now.
Exactly.
So I think taking that edge off is really, really key. It works like a charm. I do it myself.
As well as being prepared.
Yep.
Be prepared, okay? You know, like I said, you're going out for a few hours and it's going to be lunchtime when you are out there. Bring something.
Yes.
Bring a snack.
I agree.
Prepare, ask, and you should be fine when you eat out.
The planning and preparation is essential in all situations.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having
I
me.
appreciate you all tuning in to watch Nutri Facts. Again, my name is Tracy Yemma. My company is Energy Center Nutrition. If you are interested in learning more about nutrition or if you want to come and make an appointment, we offer a free consultation, no obligation. Phone number to reach us is 617-276-7049. Again, 617-276-7049. Thank you so much.